Welcome to Behind the Numbers Wildcard Weekend Review episode. This week I'm going to go over Mosaic and Prizm pricing, especially Wax, and give a little bit of an idea of how they're doing compared to each other, which might surprise you. Along with Mosaic, PSA 10 sales are starting to hit the market. I think there's some mind-blowing sales going on with PSA 10s out of Mosaic right now. Also going to make a little projection about contenders and Optic and how they're going to fare with Mosaic. Mosaic may be looking a little bit stronger than we imagined. We'll check in on our rookies and how they performed Wildcard Weekend. Give you my 5 takeaways and 5 players that help themselves in the hobby this week, and also just kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what to expect in divisional round. And lastly, I have a special thing for you today. I had a little fun trip to Walmart that ended up being a lot more bang for my buck than I expected when I was just going to get a little bit of Neosporin for my kids. So check that out in the show, and let's get to it. Welcome to Behind the Numbers Wildcard Weekend Review episode. Unfortunately, Ty couldn't be with us tonight. He's under the weather, so I'm just going to be solo again tonight. Hopefully, we can get Ty on next week for his expertise on the pricing in the market. But, what a great weekend of football. I mean, the wild card weekend was wild. We've had 6 great games. I'd say 5 great games, but overall, you had 5 of the road teams covering the spread or keeping it close. So overall, it was an amazing weekend of football. We'll definitely get to that. But I did want to share with you right before the show here, I decided to run to Walmart just to get a couple things. That's a Neosporin for the kids, just a couple of necessities. And they had these kind of random baseball repacks. I haven't opened anything in a long time. It's hard to find stuff in retail up here as well. And I just saw these, and this is the pack that I saw. And this pack right here has a Bowman Platinum. I'm not a fan of Platinum, but on the back side there, it's got that green border, and I know what that is. That's 2019 Heritage High number. And with the Tatis craze and all those things, supposedly it's supposed to be hobby packs. I was like, that's why not? It's been, I think it's $8 or $9, and I'll buy a couple. And I bought a couple, and it worked out in my favor. I ended up hitting the Juan Soto. Let's see if I can get that in there. Real 1 auto out of 70. So kind of on cloud 9 right now, having that little collector's fun time where you're just so excited you just made an awesome pull. So I thought I'd share with you guys, even though it's baseball. I know everybody can appreciate a cool pull. And Juan Soto is a guy you definitely want to hit right now. So couldn't believe that. Just a little nice Walmart repack. Who would have known? But as we go, I want to get into the football stuff this week. Mosaic and Prizm just keeps interesting. Like, it's just really interesting to me. I wasn't sure how Mosaic was going to trend in terms of compared to Prizm, where it was going to fall in terms of between, the big products of Prizm, contenders, and Optic. I think and Donruss, we just kind of weren't sure where that was going to fall. I think initially I thought it was going to be third, but just seeing how the Wax is holding and how the Mosaic prices are coming out the gate, they are early. But man, Mosaic might be a lot higher than we think. It could challenge Optic. I mean, we'll see when we get there. I think right now it's just the players are playing so well that the prices are getting high, but let's just get into it. So I've been giving you guys weekly updates on Prizm Wax pricing, and so I threw in the update on Mosaic with it this time so we can get in a comparison. And Mosaic cello packs are going for $30 a pack right now. Those are the ones, the 1 pack of pink cards in them, the pink Mosaics. The Prizm cellos are going $20-$25. So right now the Mosaic cellos are going for a little bit higher than the Prizm, which is really surprising. Hanger boxes for Mosaic, $40-$45, Prizm, $40-$43, so they're right in this exactly the same basically there for the hanger boxes. Blaster boxes for Mosaic, $60-$62, Prizm exactly the same, right around $60. The mega boxes for Mosaic, $150, and the mega boxes for Prizm, $130. So the Mosaics are slightly ahead in retail right now. It's probably because they're harder to find because Mosaic hasn't had any more restocks. It's basically done. But it's still really interesting to see how Mosaic is challenging Prizm in terms of wax prices. And you see the difference in the hobby, though. The hobby boxes, you got the no huddle boxes for Mosaic are $600. No huddle for Prizm is $850. Hobby box for Mosaic $800, and hobby box for Prizm $1,000. So there's still a little bit of uptick there. And then as we talked about last week, Optic's pre-sale is $900 for a hobby box. So you still have Optic kind of inched in there, but it's going to be really interesting seeing these singles start getting graded and where these cards kind of fall, because it does seem that the hobby is really onto Mosaic. They like the look. I think they're clean. They're a very good looking card. They have really nice parallels. So Mosaic just seems to really doing much stronger than I thought it would. I thought they were great cards, but I wasn't sure because the condition, and I wasn't sure when Prizm came out if they'd fall quite a bit, and it has not fallen that much. I feel that they're doing really well. So just keep that in mind if you see some good Mosaic singles or anything like that. Like, I'm kind of happy now thinking about a couple of the singles I purchased, a couple Jefferson Green and a couple Burrow Orange Reactives. And I just think that with seeing how these cards are being graded and what they come out to, they're doing quite well. And so with that said here, Mosaic PSA 10 rookies, just a couple. I just grabbed some of the recent sales, some that really stuck out to me. A couple Herberts to start with you, so obviously since that's somebody we were all following and chasing. Herbert Mosaic Green PSA 10, $400. That's a non-numbered, often found in most of the retail products. Justin Herbert Mosaic Green debut, $325. I put that on there because I was really surprised how well the debuts are doing in this product. I thought the debuts would be very similar to baseball, where they're kind of like, kind of, but not much. And $325 for a green debut compared to $400, that's pretty close. So the debut cards, don't discount those. I actually have the green debut of Herbert, and I thought about just selling it because I was like, it's a debut. It's probably not going to last us very long. And it's probably not going to be $325 long, but at the same time, it's coming out very similar to the base green Mosaic, which I think is quite surprising. Mosaic Reactive Gold for Herbert PSA 10, $575, and then Herbert's just base Mosaic, $350. So that's a very, it's really early. I'll really see where that settles in terms of once more hit the market. But $350 out of the gate is very impressive right now with Prizm being there. I still think that's a pretty crazy buy. And I'm very surprised that's over 300 right now. He will get Rookie of the Year, so probably climb a little bit higher as the season starts to wind down in terms of the awards. But I'm just really impressed with the prices of Mosaic. We've got some more here for you as well. A couple Tuas here. Tua rookie script signature PSA 10 600. Tua no huddle SP college variation $12.50. Couldn't believe how much that was. That's a college variation card. He's in his Alabama jersey, and it's the disco. I actually had this card of Hurts myself, and I couldn't believe that it went $12.50 for PSA 10. That was an outrage. I'm not sure if it's not sustainable, especially with Tua struggling, but $12.50 for Tua in a college jersey, I'd be selling that all day if I had it, but very surprising price there. Jacob Eason Mosaic White, one of my favorite parallels, $5.35. Joe Burrow Mosaic base debut. So this is base, $2.32. Again, the debuts are holding value right now coming out of the gate. Joe Burrow Mosaic Pink. So out of those cello packs we talked about, $225. Interesting that Mosaic base was higher. I think the Pink's probably going to go past that for sure. Chase Young even has a nice sale. Mosaic Red debut. So this is a debut of Chase Young, $175. So these Mosaic cards out of the gate, the PSA 10s are getting some really good value. So if you have some good Mosaics, definitely get those graded as quickly as you can. I mean, you're probably going to be a little bit late. Obviously, can't do any grading quickly right now. But if you have some coming back, make sure to check these prices and see if anything's above what you think it would be your sell line, because I think there's some really good prices and good sales going on right now on some of these Mosaics that are coming out clean. So if you have an opportunity, go for it. So with that being said, is this sustainable? I think we're seeing that early market high of when the first few PSA 10s come out. So we're definitely not taking those for they're not permanent. Definitely going to come down a little bit as more hit the market. But I mean, the real question to me, and I want to talk to Ty about this next week, is that how close is Mosaic going to be to Optic? I really thought it was going to be a good tier below, and I'm just not sure anymore. I just think that Mosaic has been really accepted by the hobby. It's been beautiful cards, like I said, and I'm just really interested to see how those two race against each other. I think we can all agree that Prizm's going to be the top. Who's going to settle in it too in terms of the next product for the rookie cards for this strong class of quarterbacks and receivers, and even running backs? Where's it going to go from there? So definitely want to hear your take in the comments to let me know. What do you think? Optic, Mosaic? I mean, contenders I know is mostly autos, but think about Optic and Mosaic. What do you like? How do you think it's going to settle? We got Playbook coming out here in a couple days, so that'll be interesting to see how some of those cards look. Overall, they usually have some pretty cool booklets and autographs, but overall it's a secondary product. And then again, I'll remind you that Contenders release is January 20th and Optic is February 10th. So how did our rookies do in the playoffs? Overall, pretty good. A lot of production from our rookies in the playoffs. Jonathan Taylor, 21 for 78, 1 touchdown, 2 catches for 6 yards. Michael Pittman Jr., 5 for 90, and then 1 rush for 11. So he had over 100 yards of total offense. So the Colts used their 2 rookie studs there. Zach Moss, 7 for 21, 4 for 26. He suffered a pretty bad injury, it looked like. He got carted off the field, so he'll probably be out, I imagine, in that game against Colts. Good game there. Bills ended up taking it. We'll get to that in a little bit later. Cam Akers, 28 for 131, 1 touchdown, 2 for 45, so almost 180 yards of total offense for him. Basically put the team on his back, as they were about a quarterback and a half is all they had. They went with their backup because Goff wasn't quite good to go. The backup got carted out. He took a bad hit, and Goff had to come in and play at like 60-70%, and they won the game. Probably the biggest surprise of the week was the Rams pulling that out with barely a healthy quarterback, which is also interesting. They didn't even have Bortles activated, so they were definitely risky there. Chase Young only had 3 tackles. Antonio Gibson, 14 for 31, 2 for 4. Not much there. The Bucs defense really stifled Washington. Dobbins, 9 for 43 and 1 touchdown. And Claypool, 5 for 59 and 2 touchdowns. So, kind of with that, let's go to the 5 takeaways for the wild card weekend. 2018 quarterbacks come up big. Baker, Lamar, and Josh Allen all get their first playoff wins pretty impressively. Baker, the biggest in terms of impressive. I was really impressed with the Browns not packing in at the end and just trying to hold on. They kept going play action. They kept showing confidence in Baker to throw the ball down the field, to keep moving the chains and to keep the pedal on them, And I think that made all the difference in the world, because you can just kind of feel that the Browns were going to, they had one little 3 and out. Steelers went right back and scored and got it within, I think, 16. And Cleveland came right back and they let Baker throw. They let him get into play action. He made some nice throws and got him right back to another touchdown to kind of just say, hey, this is it. And I think, is that a changing of the guard in the AFC North? To have the Browns establish themselves as a team not to be, as Shani was kind of saying before, that the Steelers aren't worried about? Or is this just a one-off terrible bad game for Pittsburgh? We'll see. Tears running down Big Ben's face after the game. Is he done? Or the Steelers working on that quarterback position now? Where does it go from here for them? That definitely was the biggest surprise of the week. So, excuse me. I would say the biggest surprise was the Rams. I think the Browns wasn't the biggest. It definitely was a surprise. But overall, where does the AFC North go from here? Josh Allen played great. I thought the Colts were a very tough matchup, and I think it was a great game to watch. Josh Allen made a couple of those wild plays. He makes it look so easy, rolling out, throwing on the run, 17-yard sideline shots to receivers as they get open. He does that so easy, and it's a lot harder than it looks. And so he's been really impressive. And he definitely, of the 3, is the most talented and for me, the best buy. And we'll get to that. Lamar, over 100 yards rushing. Passing was okay, but the Ravens took it to the Titans, as I thought they would, just because of that whole issue last time with the Titans disrespecting their logo and all that stuff. Just seemed like the Ravens would be locked in and win that game, and they did. So that was a definitely big week for the young quarterbacks. As of right now, the AFC quarterbacks remaining average age is 24.9. Average age of NFC quarterbacks remaining is 37.2. So you got the vets on the NFC versus the young guns on the AFC. So it's going to be a very interesting Super Bowl, whoever's in there. Every NFC quarterback has played in the Super Bowl. Only Mahomes on the AFC has. So really, really interesting developments going for the quarterbacks versus each other as we go forward here. In terms of the Rams upset to Seattle, like I said, that was the biggest upset. That's the first home playoff loss Seattle has suffered with the Wilson era. And with only a quarterback and a half, like I said, Goff was not 100%. He couldn't even start. Comes in, throws a touchdown pass, moves the change. Cam Akers puts him on his back where he kind of got nicked up, or they had to sit him at the end. And Donald was hurt as well. So the Rams, their defense just took it to them. They were locked in. They got it done. Really impressive. I've always been impressed with the Rams defense all season. And this week they just got it done against Seattle in the best possible time. So a very impressive win by the Rams there. We'll see how they do next week at Green Bay. Ravens returned the favorite Titans, as we said. Lamar's passing was okay. He ran for over 100 yards. Like I said, he's been running a lot more last few weeks, getting his rhythm in the running game. All road teams except Chicago cover the spread, so it was fun to see close matchups all weekend. Very, very impressed with just how the Browns came out super fast, how some of those road teams just really kept things close. Even Washington played respectable. I think Tampa Bay kind of had a grasp on the game the whole time. But the only team that didn't really show any fight was the Bears. Trubisky wasn't good at all, and the Saints just took care of him pretty easily. So it'll be really good to see how the Saints do next week when they're challenged with Tampa Bay. So I'd say in terms of the 5 players that got a playoff bump, I'd say definitely Josh Allen. Got his first playoff win. Looked really good doing it against the Colts. I think next week is going to be big, him versus Lamar. It's going to be an awesome game. So I think Baker as well got a bump. Obviously beating Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Huge for huge for Cleveland, huge for the Browns, huge for that franchise. That's a huge. You can't say how big that is. That's just a massive win for them. Lamar Jackson, he got a playoff bump. He got his first playoff win. He's been not happy about talking about that with the press and finally got that off his back. So I think hopefully let's see if that can take it further against the Bills next week. Cam Akers, that rookie performance was impressive. Basically carried the team to being Seattle. And then Stephon Diggs just keeps doing it with Josh Allen's got that connection going. Been really consistent all year, being like number one receiver for the Bills and in the league in terms of his receptions. And again, shelled out, had a nice game, touchdown, over 100 yards receiving. So those 5 guys definitely helped themselves in the hobby this week. Kind of the buy sell, guys. I just want to kind of I know we talked about we did Lamar versus Baker last week, and I want to bring Josh Allen to the fold. Just to talk about all 3 together. So Baker's now just a little bit of a bump from last week. PSA 10's up to 300. Lamar Jackson, PSA 10's 1,000. And Josh Allen, PSA 10's 860. And to me, I'm just saying, like, Josh Allen is easily a buy over Lamar at a cheaper price. I don't even see how they can be like equivalent. I know Lamar's got an MVP. I know that he had that year last year that he's had, but with what Josh Allen's progressively done over the last couple of years, I think he's just going to continue to get better, and he just has that team rolling. I really think it's going to be a big game for those 2 versus each other next week. We'll talk about that here in the matchups, but I'd say Josh Allen for a buy there, and I still would take Baker still with that spread against Lamar, 300 versus 1,000. I'm not going to spend 1,000 Lamar right now for me. I think Baker at 300 still has room for growth. And again, I'm just really impressed with how they came out this week and played. Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins I have for the running back comparison. Cam Akers, black and white disco variation, 45. J.K. Dobbins, black and white disco variation, 15. I think Cam Akers is more talented. I really trust the Rams offense and Sean McVay, like kind of longer term. But Dobbins for 15, a third of the price. I have to go that way. I just think that Dobbins is to continue to be, he has the support of Lamar. They have to defend Lamar on the run and him on the run. So he's going to see a lot more seams and he's going to have a lot more opportunity, I think. So I do think that Dobbins will get closer to Akers in terms of value. I think 15.45, those might be just a little bit of one-offs because they're kind of a little bit off card to pick. I just like to pick different ones for you guys. But I think I would go J.K. Dobbins there for 15 for sure. Couple receivers here that are playing each other next week. Chris Godwin and Michael Thomas. Chris Godwin, 2017 Silver Prizm rookie, PSA 10 is 85. Michael Thomas, 2016 Silver Prizm, PSA 10 is 265. Chris Godwin all day. To me, that's just, I couldn't believe that Godwin was that cheap. Godwin is either going to get signed by Tampa or go somewhere else next year. So he could get a bump depending on where he goes. And I think him going somewhere is better because Brady just can't play forever. We know that. And I feel like he could go somewhere with a younger guy and just, he can go with Watson maybe, or he can go to Miami maybe with Tua. Like there could be a lot of different places that he could land that just he'd be the number one guy right away. And I even think I like him more than Evans right now. I think he is the more talented receiver at this point. I think Evans is a big body and will always be a touchdown threat. But compared to Michael Thomas and his like slow decline, his really weird and off year in terms of not, disgruntledness with the team and players and all that stuff. I'm a little surprised that he's still bringing in 265 for his silver right now because he was like 350 in the preseason, so he hasn't dropped that much from his injury riddled and difficult season. So overall, that was really surprising to me. So divisional matchups. So we're just going to go through these here real quick, talk about the spreads a bit, and then we'll get you out of here today with a nice short and sweet show today. LA Rams at Green Bay. Green Bay's -7. I think Green Bay is gonna be too much. I just don't see the Rams be able to come out twice in a row on the road against 2 tough opponents like that. Green Bay, if they can get that running game going and have no turnovers, get good enough lead on that team to slow the Rams down, I think they should be in good shape. Ravens and Buffalo is probably the game I'm most excited to see. Buffalo right now is a 2.5 favorite. I really think the decider in this game is whichever quarterback turns it over the most is going to lose. And I think Lamar's going to turn it over the most. I just think that he took a lot of sacks last week, held on the ball, but I could see him trying to maybe do a little bit too much. and making the wrong play at the wrong time. And I can see Josh Allen, Buffalo moving on there. Browns at Chiefs. Browns, a great game last week. I just don't think they will be able to keep up with the Chiefs there, and the line's -10, so pretty heavy favorite for Chiefs. I just think the Chiefs are going to have too much speed, too many big plays. Browns probably won't be able to keep up. Bucks at Saints, a really interesting game here. The Saints have beat them twice quite handily this year, and I think they're going to do it again. I think the Saints are going to beat them again. They seem to have Brady and Tampa Bay's number this year, and I think that's going to continue. So I'm going to go with the Saints. So last week, 5 for 6 with my little sleeper, the Browns pick. This week, we'll see if we can go 4 for 4. But overall, it's going to be a fun weekend. A lot of close matchups. Again, the Ravens at Buffalo has a lot of – looks really fun. I'm excited for that game. But you guys have a great week. Enjoy the divisional games. Again, be sure to follow me at @numbers_behind, and proud member of Bench Clear Media. You guys have a great week. Take care.